in Grand Prairie is delighted to welcome you to their taping of the July the 2nd, 1991 program with a very special salute. We have dedicated this salute to the 4th of July today to the Grand Prairie Rotary Club's exchange program, where they bring students into Grand Prairie, Texas from afar. And we're so pleased to have at the dais today the new president of Rotary Fridays Club, Mr. Dan Clemson, who was very instrumental in helping this program to come about in the Rotary Club, and also his immediate family, for they were the first one-half parents for a very special young man from Germany. And Mr. Clemson, we're delighted to recognize you at this time, and how exciting it is for you to be president of Rotary and continue on in this tradition.
Thank you, Ruthie. It's a real pleasure to be able to serve Rotary, and a real pleasure to be involved in the exchange program. And Matt was the first student that we ever hosted on the exchange program, and he was a real blessing to our family, and it's been a real joy.
And when you mention a blessing to the family, that entails quite a few members of the Clemson family, and Georgia Clemson, as the mother of that wonderful family, tell us, what is it like to be the mother of an exchange student along with your other 3 children in your family?
Well, I will say it's quite a different experience. We've enjoyed having Matt in our home. I think we all learned a lot from it and grew from the experience.
Yes. All right, and let's get to Allison Clemson, who I believe is the younger member of the Clemson family that lives at 1605 Camelot. Now, Allison, I know this was quite an awakening for you, but is there anything you'd like to tell the viewing audience when you welcome a very strange young man into the household where your older brother has gone away to college and you're left with Leanna Clemson, your older sister, and you as the supervisors? How did you all supervise Matt?
Well, it was a strange but great experience. It was pretty fun.
And you've learned a lot?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Matthias Reschke.
That's right.
All right, Matthias. And I've always called you Matt because I have a very hard time with your first name. Tell us a little bit about Matt, the real young man, and your first experience landing at DFW and coming in and meeting the Clemson and knowing full well you were going to have to live there in the presence of 2 strange young ladies.
Well, I came from, I was 16 years old when I came. And, well, it was kind of funny. I was sitting, before I came here, so I was sitting in the plane for 16 hours, and I was kind of thinking about how this year would go. And, well, you know, you sit in the plane and you don't know the family at all, and you know you have to stay there for a year, and you're kind of worried, you know, how the family is going to be. And then and you get to the airport, and then something is wrong with your passport, and you don't have the forms that you have to have, and then you wait there for 20 minutes. And then I came out of DFW. We went up those stairs that you have to get up when you come on an international flight. And there were about 30 people coming at me and screaming and holding my name signs up. And me, with my little English that I knew, was kind of, well, I don't know. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't really know English. And so it was kind of tough for me. But
All right. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about your parents, name your parents and your family and your hometown, and tell our viewing audience just a little bit about Matt, because we didn't get to interview you with the other students at our Federation meeting. We'd like to know just a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, I'll start with my sister. She is 15 years old now, and I think she's going to be an exchange student next year, since she heard how good it was in my exchange.
And you'd give us her name.
She's Christina.
All right.
And my dad is, his name is Manfred, and he is a government official. Would be too hard to explain what it is right now. I always had trouble with that. And my mother is an elementary school teacher, and her name is Barbara.
That's great.
And now to myself, I'm, well, as I said, now 17. I'm running track, and I'm doing pretty good in it.
All right. And you were in what grade in your school when you left, and what grade will you be in when you return to Germany?
I was in grade 10, and when I come back, I'll be in 12, so I didn't lose a year. A lot of students do, but I didn't.
That's great.
Fortunately.
All right. Mr. Clemson, as far as Rotary is concerned, tell us a little bit about your projection for maybe next year. Do you plan to continue this wonderful project?
Rotary's been involved in the exchange program for several years. Steve Stevens is our Director of International Service, and he has spearheaded this program for, I believe, the last 3 years. They've hosted several students themselves in the past couple of years, and we're going to continue on next year, and they are in the process of finding host families at this time to line up for next year for the students. I believe that our club is eligible for 1 or 2 students this coming year.
Wonderful. Ms. Clemson, I'd like for you to look into your camera and maybe encourage some of those families that may be in our viewing audience that they would be interested in hosting a student. I'd like for you to encourage them in that direction since you've gone through this experience.
Well, I do think that it is a very enriching experience for anyone who would like to give it a try. I think it would be best if you have children around the age of the student coming over. And I think that makes it a lot easier for the parents to get everybody transported to the right time and the right place. And I really do think it is not only personally enriching, I think that internationally it builds goodwill, and I think it's a wonderful program.
Wonderful. All right. Front and center to Matt again. Matt, recently you left Grand Prairie for a couple of weeks on a long sojourn. Would you like to tell us a little bit about Matt's travels on this last part of your stay in the United States and especially in Grand Prairie, Texas?
I sure will. It was, it's called, I went on a Rotary tour, which is called the South Central Rotary Youth Exchange Tour. Big name. And I traveled with 88 other exchange students from 22 different countries. And we went through the West States up to Wyoming to Yellowstone and through Las Vegas and California and came back to Albuquerque. And I had a really good experience, as you can tell by my pictures that I had. I took about 230 pictures in 18 days, so I had quite a lot to see.
Yes, that's quite an investment, but that will be wonderful in your memoirs to take back with you to Germany.
It sure is.
All right. When are you leaving for your trip back to Germany?
I'm leaving on the 7th of July with my parents, but I'm not going right back to Germany. I'm going back to California for 2 weeks and then through New York back to Germany.
That sounds like a wonderful experience. Allison Clemson, I only promised you one question, but I'd like for you to look out into your camera and let any young person that may be viewing this, I'd like for you to encourage them to, if they have an exchange student in their home, that it really will turn out all right because the parents see that it does. Would you like to say something to that effect?
Well, it was really fun. I didn't think I would like it at first, but it ended up okay.
Wonderful. Now that is really wonderful, Allison. And before we leave this, I'd like for you to tell us where you were in school when Matt was with you and where you're going to be in school next year. Would you do that?
I was in Adams. Now I'm going to be at Grand Prairie High School.
Oh, going into a new field of endeavor. All right. Mr. Clemson, would you like to say anything else about Rotary and about our exchange student and your personal experience with Matt having an adopted son since your own son was away at Tarleton?
Matt, I think, was just a great experience for our whole family, and we learned a lot, and that's really part of the framework that Rotary tries to work in, and that's world peace through better understanding and goodwill. And part of the exchange program is designed to do that. We bring people over, and we also have in our exchange program, we have arrangements for our young men and women to go overseas and to participate in the exchange in that direction also. And I believe that it does some wonderful things in that area. And personally, Matt, I think, was a tremendous experience, a tremendous relationship. He's an outstanding young man, and I really enjoy being with him and having known him, and we'll try to maintain a relationship in the future.
All right. Matt, one final thing in 1 minute. I'd like for you to just say whatever you'd like to the Clemsons about your stay with them the first half of your time here in Grand Prairie, Texas, when you were very unsure of yourself. Did they help get you over any hard bumps? Anything you'd like to say?
Okay, well, as Dan said already, it was a really great time, and I think it was kind of hard for them since I was speaking only a little English, so I wasn't as good as I am now, and they just helped me get over all the little problems first in school, and I don't know, they made it really easy for me to get into Grand Prairie, you know, since they knew a lot of people too, and I heard from other exchange students they had really hard time finding friends and meeting people, and that I didn't have trouble with that at all, so I'm really glad I got to stay in this family.
Wonderful. Clemson's would like to thank you all for being such a nice host to Matt. Also, I know he had quite an adjustment to make with Georgia Clemson's health food program, so I know that Matt will smile very greatly on that particular one. I want to thank you all for being with us for the first half of our interview and our July the 4th salute to Rotary Exchange, and then we're going to be right back with the Robbins family and Matt.
Today, thanks to the miracle of medicine and the gift of a stranger, these children have been saved through a bone marrow transplant. But so many people are on waiting lists, hoping and praying someone will donate marrow that matches their own. Not everyone can be a donor, but if you are one of those very special people, please volunteer today. To give your marrow is to give the gift of life.
And now to bring you the second portion of our 4th of July salute to the Rotary Friday Club and their exchange program, we're delighted to bring to you, with Matt, the Robbins family. And welcome to the dais, Robbins family. Glad to have you with us today.
It's great to be here. Always a pleasure to be part of your activities, Ruthie.
All right, Ray Robbins, as the big daddy in the Robbins family, at your big nest, we'd like you're, as a Rotarian and as the host family for Matt, the second portion of his stay here in Grand Prairie, Texas. How does this grab you, young man?
Well, I think the exchange program is one of the best activities that Rotary is involved with. I think that it's great for our community. It's great for the families that are involved. I think it's terrific for in every capacity, in every way that I can imagine. I think it's of benefit to our city, and we definitely grew as a family. We grew individually and we grew collectively. It was a terrific experience for us.
All right, were there lots of sacrifices on your part, young man, since you are in business and you do all of these good things? How did that affect your schedule, sir?
Well, it does affect schedules. You do have to spend a little bit more time hauling people around. You have another haircut every month that you didn't have before. You've
right.
got another teenager that's dating in the household and has a different set of friends, and you've got more time that's involved in talking about things that may have bothered someone or trying to understand things. So you could call those sacrifices if you wanted to, but I think that for our family it was a growth experience. Matt is such a pleasant and intelligent young man that I really believe that every countenance, no matter how it went, was for good for us. So we certainly didn't count it as sacrifice. We counted it as growth.
Wonderful. Let's get to Diana next. Diana, as the mommy that needed to get everything together in the household, tell us your experience in being a mommy to Matt.
All right, the first thing that I worried about was language barrier, and quickly we found out that Matt was going to be so good at his English that we didn't have to worry about that. Then I worried about what would I feed him.
Yes.
That's a mother's thoughts.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult at first because we're a fast-paced family. We do a lot of eating out and quick things at home. But we did soon find out things that he liked, and we tried to incorporate that. We know that he loves orange juice. We always keep orange juice. He didn't drink much soft drinks when he came, but now he loves Coke, just like our teenagers. I never could get him to drink iced tea. He drinks lots of milk. And he, I think, came to love our Mexican foods and Italian foods, things like that he was real happy to try. And he just soon, I forgot about it. I just put the food out there. After a while, you know, at first you treat them like a guest, and then they start becoming more of your own. And just like your own kids, I think you put the food out and hope they'll eat it, and if not, you know they're not going to starve. He always would go get a big bowl of cereal, if nothing else, or ice cream. So we didn't have to worry about whether he would starve while he was with us for the year. But the rest of the activities were just a few more clothes to wash or another bed to make. But he was very helpful when he could. But like our teenagers, they're all so busy that the mothers still have a lot to do. But it was something that we enjoyed, and I wouldn't trade the year for anything.
Wonderful. Okay, Ryan, young man of the family in the Robbins family. What was it like to have a brand new brother on the block?
Well, to be honest, it was pretty scary at first when we got a little packet kind of about him and everything, and we read over that, and there were some things we were worried about. He might be kind of a hassle, or maybe just kind of a nerd, and not somebody we wouldn't want to have around the house. But after he came in, we hit it off. I mean, as soon as we went out that first night, we became, best friends. We hung around, and I mean, it turned out to be he wasn't really a brother to me. He's a best friend, which was good and was bad, because when it came to school and things, it was like having somebody spend the night every night.
Yes.
Which made it tough for doing homework and stuff like that. But we had a lot of fun, and I'm glad he was here. I'm going to miss him when he goes back.
Since you're a very active young man at Grand Prairie High School, or were during your senior year, how did your schedule mesh since you're into cheerleading and all of these other good things? How did you work Matt's schedule into yours, or did you?
Well, we did our best to work everything in. I mean, sometimes it was difficult to carry him somewhere because he couldn't drive, and I had to drive in places. But it worked out fine. We ended up being interested in the same sort of things, so different events we'd go to, I'd be able to take him, and we'd just be together. Or he was really involved with my cheerleading and everything, so he didn't mind going and watching.
And seeing all the pretty girls, too.
Well, of course.
Yes, of course. And I'm sure you saw that he always had admiring girlfriends along or in the assembly, right?
Well, yeah, that happens. And we had some double dates occasionally and stuff, so that worked out good.
Okay, let's get over and skip Matt for just a minute. Matt, you're going to excuse us. We're going to let you have your rebuttal in just a few minutes. But now let's get to Marla. Marla is the younger member of the family and a precious little girl. What was it like for this invasion of your privacy into your home, bringing in another young man? We'd like you to tell us about that.
Well, I wouldn't really say it would be an invasion into the family, because I was really excited about it from the beginning when I heard my dad talking about it, and I thought it'd be a really neat experience, and it ended up being one. And he was becoming another brother to me, and it's going to be terrible that he's leaving. And he's just like a brother to me, and we had lots of laughs and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Great. All right, now I need to establish you just a little bit, Marla. Give us your school, where you were during the year when Matt was with you, and where you're going to be next year.
Well, I was in 9th grade at Grand Prairie High School, and next year I'll be in 10th grade, same school.
And you're going to stay with the Gophers in spite of everything, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's great. All right, Matt, front and center now. Your experience in the last really more than half of your last half here in Grand Prairie with the Robbins family since just before Christmas. Tell us what it was like spending Christmas and some of the other holidays and the ski trips and some of the other good stuff with this great family.
Well, to start with the beginning, it was I didn't come in a family that I didn't know at all, not like the Clemsons that I had to figure. I mean, I still had to figure out how things in the house work and who does what, but it was more, I mean, I knew Ryan already. I had gone to school with him for half a year, and so I kind of, it was like he said, kind of going to a friend for half a year, so it was easier in the beginning, and just kind of the relationship between all of us grew a lot during the year, and I just felt like it was my family at the end, you know. And I haven't told them that yet, but when I was on the trip, I really thought, oh, it's time to, the last days I was kind of sick of traveling in the bus the whole day and stuff. And so I was really looking forward to come back, and
Coming
it's
back.
kind of like going home, you know.
Coming back
Yeah.
to your Grand Prairie home.
Yeah.
That is wonderful that you have that feeling about the Robbins and their care and protection of you. Mr. Robbins, if you assess this all, would you do it again?
Oh, most definitely. And I have a very strong feeling that because it was such a great experience for us, that when the time is right, that we will probably have an exchange student that will stay with our daughter Marla. In fact, the chances are that it might even be Matthias's sister, because they're the same age, and she intends to be an exchange student as well. So I would do it over again, and I couldn't begin to spend enough time encouraging people to be involved in this program. It's a program that will help you grow, will help you develop, help you be a better person, and it's good for world relations. It's good for international development. Terrific program.
Well, I know that the Robbins family, as well as the Clemsons, both attend the Turnpike Church of Christ. Were you able to ever get Matt to go to church with you? And if not, tell us his church experience while here. I think that's important to the youth in our town.
I'll tell you a little bit about that, but I would much rather most of it come from Matt. He really surprised us at a Rotary presentation when he expressed what his feelings were towards having developed in our community, and in particular at Turnpike Church of Christ. And we made it a point not to push a particular religion, to make sure that he went if he wanted to, he went elsewhere if he wanted to. And I think it would be better to let Matt tell us what he thought about the experience that he had at Turnpike.
We're going to reserve those remarks to him, but we're going to get back to Diana. Diana, since you were really kind of the chief at home, I'd like for you to look out into your camera and tell the ladies that might be contemplating this that it's not such a shock after all, and it's a wonderful experience, and invite them to think about it.
Okay. One thing that made it really easy for us was our older son had already moved out of the house into an apartment. So we had an extra bedroom that we told Matt was going to be all his, and we took everything off the walls, told him he could put anything up and make it his home here in America. And he did. And it's taking boxes and boxes now to get it down off the walls and pack it up to send it back to Germany. But I think that helped make him feel at home while he was here and made us feel like he was happy with us. And he's going to leave us his German flag that he had on the wall. He's taking home his flag of Texas and his American flag, and he's got lots of pictures and souvenirs. But it's just something that we've learned to appreciate Germany and the people in Germany, and we've never traveled there, and we hope to now that they've invited us to come and be a part of their family. I think it might turn out to be a real expense because Ryan and Matt are already planning many trips to go over and maybe ski, and I'm sure we're going to try to get them together some. But it's a wonderful experience, and any family can make the adjustments as long as you just treat them like one of yours.
Wonderful. All right, Matt, front and center, we want you to talk about maybe some of the best friends that you've made, like Scott Waters, some of the others that you're really going to hate to leave over here into Grand Prairie, Texas, and not take back to Germany with you, and maybe some of your other experiences you'd like to express.
Yeah, my friends that I made was my best friend here was Ryan, since I spend almost all the time with him, and Scott is a really close friend of him and now of mine. I'm sure going to miss him. And I really made a lot of friends in school. Like, for example, the track team. You know, I travel with them a lot, and I'm going to miss them and the competition with them.
How about your track coach that encouraged you? Would you like to name drop a little?
Yeah, it was Coach Shaw, and it was his last year as coach. He's vice principal at Jefferson Middle School now, and I hope he enjoyed it, and I really did. He encouraged me a lot and helped me too to get involved into the school more.
Since you did take over Kevin's room, and we didn't name drop Kevin, so I better name drop him or we'll be in bad trouble. How's it going to adjust to pull all of those things together and go all the way back to Germany?
Well, as a matter of fact, I already put almost everything off the wall before my trip, since I don't have that much time now. But it was kind of funny. Every time I pulled something off the wall, I kind of thought about when I put it up and what things I did to get it. What trips or whatever. I was kind of like taking some memories down off the wall and getting ready to put it up in Germany.
You've spoken to many Grand Prairie audiences, all of the clubs and et cetera. We have about 1 minute left. I'd like for you to look out into your camera and tell just Grand Prairie, Texas, how nice it's been to have been here.
Well, I really had a very good time here in Grand Prairie. First, when I came, I thought Grand Prairie, okay, that's going to be somewhere out way in the country, and I was kind of thinking, well, I hope this is going to be a good year. But I really enjoyed it. The school was very nice. It's so new, and there are a lot of things to do here. And I went to a lot of movies, and that's the thing that's in Germany, that you get it later. You get the same movies but later. But I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being in the Rotary Club. They really made me feel welcome in all the meetings. I enjoyed that a lot. And I don't know how to thank them. I'll tell them the same thing again at the next Friday, and I really enjoyed it here in Grand Prairie.
It's wonderful. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to again express the community's gratitude to the Robbins family, all of you, and even Kevin that's away, and also to the Rotary Club, the Friday Club, for all of the special experiences they've allowed Grand Prairie to have by bringing this very fine young man into Grand Prairie. And I was very pleased to be his adopted grandmother for just a few months. And I've enjoyed knowing Matt tremendously. He is an outstanding young man. And don't you know, he's going to be a celebrity when he goes back to Germany and gets to tell all about his visitation. We're also pleased that we believe that we're going to be able to run his very own TV video that is his special following this presentation, and we hope that'll all come off well. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you, and would you all join me?
It's happening in Grand Prairie.